Patangamo. Question 6. Oxfam Private Limited is evaluating an investment in new product which is estimated to have a capital expenditure on 60 million at the present day for the machinery and the equipment, some of which need to be imported. The expected production period of this year is 5 years. The management expects machinery and equipment to have a residual value of 10% after the production period. The product will be made in the excess production facility of the company, which has been presently rented out to third party. The rental income relevant for the next year is 6 million, which is payable during the same year. This rental subject to an annual increase of 10%. Once the project period ends, this facility could be rented out again or utilized for the future operations. The marketing team has forecasted the following information. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Likewise, sales volume is given. Sales price per unit is given. Selling price has been preset after considering the inflationary factor. Majority of the variable cost of the product contains raw material which are imported from Middle East. Eastern countries. As such, the cost of material is highly dependent on the economic conditions in the supplying countries. The purchasing department has made the following forecast. Economic condition in countries of material suppliers unfavorable, neutral, and the favorable variable cost is vary based on the economic situation. Probability also given. Variable cost is stated in real terms and it is expected to be increase at a rate of 4% annually. The variable cost is stated in real terms. Fixed overhead pertaining to this operation is 10 million per annum in the present day value. Except for those which are prescribed, the general inflation would be 5% per annum. OCL can claim tax allowable depreciation at 20% on straight line method on the full capital expenditure. The corporate tax is 28% per year, payable in the year which is liability arises. OPL currently pays corporate taxes from its other operations. OPL has a real after tax weighted average cost of capital is 10% and nominal weighted average cost of capital is 15.5% and the cost of equity is 20%. Required, evaluate the financial acceptability of the project based on the NPV 13 marks. Yes. Evaluate the risk of the project in terms of internal rate of return, IRR, 4 marks. OPL has all the project related estimations prior to the COVID outbreak. Explain 3 areas which have been elevated exposure of the risk of OPL mainly due to the outbreak. 3 marks, total is 20 marks. Firstly, we want to calculate the NPV for this question, right? මං share කරනවා පේනවද කියලා බලන්න. This is the answer. පේනවද? Is it visible? නිම්රාද පේනවද? ඉන්නවද ගියාද? Right. Capital expenditure 60 million. 60 million we are computing based on 1,000, 60,000. Right, 60 million, it is same as this. මේක මං හිතන්නේ කට්ටියට තේරෙනවා. Year 0, right? Okay the right. After that, it mentioned that the residual value is after the 5 years, management expect that the machinery and equipment to have a residual value of 10% after the production period. It means after the production period, it is 10%. It means 60 into 10, 6,000. Is it okay? Harini? Residual value as per the question. Harida? Right. Next, it is sales. Sales volume is given. Selling price also given. Selling price has been preset after the considering inflation factors. So this is easy. We can multiply and take the sales. Sales volume into sales price. 50,000 into 2,000. 80,000 into 2,100. 120,000 into 2,400. 90,000 into 2,500. 40,000 into 200. 2,600, right? We can multiply only sales value. It is easy, right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මම හිතන්නේ මේකත් එක්ක විනාඩියක් දෙන්නම් කරගෙන යන්න sales කොහොමද ගත්තේ කියලා මේකේ තියෙනවා, right? Only a multiplication in here. එහෙම දෙන්නේ හොඳකට නෙමෙයි පල්ලෙහාක් අමාරු කරන්න තමයි එහෙම දෙන්නේ, right? හරි නේද? මම හිතන්නේ ඒකත් හරි. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේක ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් මම විනාඩියක් දෙන්නම්. මම හිතන්නේ පේනවා. පේනවද? right. ලියා ගන්නවද? හරිද? මට ලියලා ඉවරලා කියන මම විනාඩියක් දෙන්නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. මේ sales එක value එක working number 1 working number 1 පෙන්නන්න sales, right? Selling volume into selling price. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට leisurely කරගන්න පුළුවන්, right? Right. The variable cost අන්න දීලා තියෙනවා. Majority of the variable cost product contains raw material which are important from Middle East. අපිට ඕන raw materials ගන්න අපි මැද පිටික UAE, Saudi Arabia අනේ වගේ countries වලින්, Middle East, Gulf countries වලින් මොකක් හරි country එකකින් ගන්නවා කියමුකෝ. As such, the cost materials is highly dependent on the economic situation. මේ economic situation එකේ මත මේ price එක vary වෙනවා, change වෙනවා. The information is given. Variable cost per unit, if it is unfavorable economic situation, is the worst case 1,700. The neutral, it is like a neutral situation, 1,500. If it is a favorable, it is 1,400. But there is a probability. If they giving the probability, you want to calculate the expected value, expected return එක හෙව්වා මතකද? The value into probability, right? අපි ඉස්සරහම expected variable cost එක හොයන්න ඕන, right? In here you can see the expected variable cost. Expected variable cost is this. The probability only the multiplication. අපි මේක ඉගෙන ගත්ත corporate finance වල 1700 into 35, 1500 into 45%, 1400 into 20%. මේක ඕකේද? මම විනාඩියක් දෙන්නම් මෙන්න මේක formula එක copy paste කරගන්න. Expected variable cost. I'm referring to this, right? හරිද? ඒකේ issue එකක් තියෙනවද කාට හරි? ඉම්රාද හරිනේ නේද? මං හිතන්නේ ඔයාලට ඕකේනේ. අනිත් කට්ටිය කියන්නේ කව සඳුනි ඉන්නවනේ. හරිද?
Hari, hello.
Expected variable cost, but it also subject to 4% annual increasement. ඒ කියන්නේ 4% if it is 1000 අපිට කීයක්ද ආවේ? 1000 කීයද? මට මතක නැහැ 1700ද නෑ. කීයද ආවේ? 1000 right 1550. 1550 expected variable cost. එතකොට ඒකත් 4% increase වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ year 1 එකේ කොහමද? 1550 into 1.04%, 04 into 1. කැල් එකේ ගහන්නේ එහෙම year 2 1550 into 1.04 into 2. year 3 එකේ 1550 into 1.04 into 3. year 4 එකේ 1000 මේක ඇත්තට මිඩ් එකට නම් නෙමෙයි ඔයගලන්ට හෙල්ප් වෙන්නේ එන්ඩ් එකට, right? ඒකයි ටියුටෝරියල් එකට. මොකද දැන් ඔයගලන්ට knowledge එකක් තියෙනවා යම් කිසි. 4. මේක calculate කරලා මට කියන්න කීයද කියලා variable cost එක. Selling price is given. We want to compute the variable cost. Variable per unit variable cost into number of sales. Sales volume is already given. Right. Is it easy? It is easy. කියන්න මට year 1 එකේ per unit variable cost එක. නිම්රාද හරි කවුරු හරි year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Please kindly provide the answers. Year 1, it is how much? 1 point මම එනවා මට උත්තර ටික පොඩක් කියන්න 1550 කවුරු කියන්නකෝ. තාම ඔයගොල්ලෝ කම්පියුට් කරනවද? 1612යි. මම වැරදි නම් කියන්න. year 2 it is 1676.48. Is it correct? Year 3 1743.53 approximately, right? Harid, hello.
Hari Shakhi.
Right. 1813.28 approximately, right? Per unit. So you want to get the total variable cost by multiplying the sales volume, right? In here, the answer is given, right? Right. As per this, we already calculated per unit variable cost with the inflation and make a product complex. You want to compute the expected variable cost. Based on that, you want to adjust the inflation in that. So after that, you can get year one per unit variable cost is 1,612, year two 1,676, 1,744, 1,813, right? 1,886. After that, you want to multiply it by sales volume and you can get the total variable cost, right? හරිද? මේක පොඩක් copy paste කරගන්න. මම කියන්නේ මේක චුට්ටක් විතර අමාරුයි. මේ වගේම එන්නේ නැහැ ඇත්තටම, but for you understand. right? මම තව ඒවා හම්බුනොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් share කරන්නම්. මම හිතන්නේ අපි practice වෙන තරමට අපිට හොඳයි. මොකද අපි ලේසි සීනි බෝල් ඒවා කරොත් අපිටමයි ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ, right? මම හිතන්නේ ඒක හරි. variable cost එකත් මෙතන මම හිතන්නේ okay, right? Clearද? Is it clear? Hello? මේ clear නැත්නම් අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් discuss කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද මට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද 10 මාර්ට කලින් නම් කොහොමත් කරන්න ඕනේ. මොකද හරි නැහැනේ. මොකද මේක end එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ. මේ මොකද කරන්නේ නිම්රාද හරිද ඔයාලට තේරුණාද? Is it okay?
මට තේරුණා.
right අපි sales එව්වා අපි පොඩක් මිස් කරා but opportunity cost එක අපි ඔයෙන්නේ නැහැ right අපි දැන් capital expenditure එක adjust කරා residual value එක හරි sales හරි variable cost එක හරි මම ඊළඟට එන්නම් ඊළඟට අපිට තියෙනවා fixed overheads pertaining to the operation is 10% per annum in present day in the sense year 0 except for those which are prescribed general inflation would be 5% per annum. If they specifically saying in this variable cost for 4%, it is 4%. Otherwise, you want to consider 5%, except for those are specified. In here, the variable cost they specify, inflation rate is 4%. In the selling price, inflation rate is not given directly. They are inflation adjusted selling price is given, right? Right. So I miss something in here. Later on, we can come to this, right? Fixed overhead 10 million per annum in present year 0. Then you want to compute year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So since we are using thousands, 10,000 into 1.05% into 1. Likewise, you can continue. Then now it is easy. අපිට දැන් ලේසියිනේ මොකද අපි කරලා දැන් practice වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. 2 tell me the answers please. 1.05 into 3, 1.05 into 4, right? In here we have 5 years, ne? Right, 5 years we have. I can't forget it. Right, හරිද? මේ පොඩ්ඩක් මේ ගාන ටිකක් අමාරුයි. Is it okay? හරිද? මේක කම්පියුට් කළා මට answers කියන්න. very fixed overhead එක. මට මිනිම්රාද ගණන් ටික කියන්න. year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5.
year 1 10,500 නේද?
මොකක්ද?
year 1
ඔව් 10,500 yes.
10,500යි. year 2 11,25යි.
right.
year 3 11,576යි 0.25.
අපි 11,576 ගමු මේ සති මෙහෙමයි ඉතින් දශමත් එක්ක අපිට ඩීල් කරන්න බෑනේ ඒක ඔයාලට තේරෙනවනේ ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ but අපි rounding up කරමු. මොකද round up කරමු නැත්නම් අපිට පිස්සු වැඩේ ඔවා සුළු කර යන්න. Right? Right. එතකොට අපිට ඒකත් හරි. But we miss some information in here. The relevant cost මේ වෙනකන් ඕකේ නේ කට්ටියටම. මේ මෙතන වෙනකන් මේ සෙට් එක කාටට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද? අපි tax එක හෙව්වේ නැහැ. but tax adjustment එක විතරයි අපිට තියෙන. තව පොඩි එකක් අපි මෙතන මිස් වෙලා the product will be මම මේක green color කරලා තියෙන එක the product will be made in the excess production facility. The company which has been presently rented out to third party. දැන් අපි මොකක් හරි මිලියන එකක් තියෙනවා අපි rented out කරලා තියෙනවා third party. The rental income relevant for next year is 6 million which is payable during the same year. අපිට rental income එකට දැන් next year. Next year in the sense year 1 it's 6 million, right? 6 million you won't consider next year or current year. Your marma important. Next year in the sense year 1. So now we are 0, right? The rental income subject to annual increase in 10%. Once the project period ends, this facility could be rented out again to others. Can already අපි rent out කරලා තියෙනවා but මේ project එකකින්ද අපිට දැන් එක ගන්න වෙලා තියෙනවානේ. නේද? So we are losing a rental income. නේද? අපි මේ project එක if we accepting this project, we want to close the rent income. Can අපි මේ මිනිසුන්ට කියන්න ඕන අපි දැන් දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා අපි use කරලා after the at the end of the period we can re-rent out this. Ne? So since we are losing our rental income, it is a relevant cost. So it is a cost to us, like a opportunity cost. Relevant is a opportunity cost, right? So we are in NPV also we are bothering about the relevant cost which are avoidable. If it is unavoidable we are not taking it. We can avoidable කියන අපිට වළක්ව ගන්න පුළුවන්. But then because මෙන්න මේ අපිට මේ 6 million කියන rental income එක අහිමි වෙන්නේ අපි මේ project එක කරන හින්දා. So if we not go ahead with this project we can eliminate it. We can avoid it. නේ? අපිට ඒක මේ අත් කර ගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මෙතන අපි මේ කරන හින්දා තමයි අපිට 6 million එක lose වෙන්නේ. නේද? ඒක තේරෙන්නේ නැද්ද? Oh, it also increased by 10% per year. So now it is 6 million increasement every year. මෙන්න මේ ගානවල ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ තේරෙනවනේ. 6 million into 1 point, it is how much per year it is increasing? 10%, right? 1.1 into 2, right? 6 million 1.1 into, sorry, this is 1, right? මොකද year 2 එකේනේ මොකද year 1 එකේ value එක අපිට already දීලා තියෙනවා, right? 6600. මං හිතන්නේ තේරෙනවා. හරිනේ නිම්රාදනේ? මේ ඉලක්කම් ටික ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන විදිය ඕකේනේ? හරිනේ. මොකද ගණන් මේ වගේ ගණන් බොහොම පරිසම මේකෙන් අපි හැම concept එකක්ම ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. How to compute the tax, how to compute how to deal with when there is a inflation in sales price and variable cost, opportunity cost, all need to be considered when you are evaluating the project under the NPV, right? Right. In apita then lastly we want to compute the tax adjustments. Tax adjustments, this is a little bit complex. OPL can claim tax allowable depreciation at 20% per year on straight line method in the full capital expenditure. The corporate tax rate is 28% per year payable in year which is arises. Right. So we want to now compute the taxable profit. How to compute it? Here you can compute the taxable profit to liability. Taxable profit, right? Right. Balanda. Taxable profit, operating profit. We plug this value here. Operating profit, sales minus variable cost. We can get the contribution minus rental income. We can get here 3, 4, 5, 6 above. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to consider these 4. Opportunity cost is a cash outflow because once we go ahead with this project, we are losing 6,000 in year 1, 6,600 in year 2, 7,260. Likewise, we are losing. It is a cash outflow. So we want to consider. as sales, it's income, cash inflow, all variable cost also cash outflow, fixed overheads are cash outflow. Operating profit 3, 4, 5, 6. It is given 3, 4, 5, 6. Opportunity cost, sales, variable cost, and fixed overhead. Me table එක residual income at the end of the period, we can get the residual income as per the question is 6,000. How we get 6,000? 60 into 10%. It is equal to 6,000 at the end of the term. At end of the period, we can get at year 5, we can get the residual income, residual value. Depreciation allowance, as per the taxation, we can claim 20% per annum on straight line basis. It means 60,000 is our capital expenditure. 60,000 into 20% in the sense, how much? 60,000 into 20%. It is 12,000. 12,000 into 5 years. We can same rate, we can enjoying a capital allowance of 12,000 per year. After that, we are deriving taxable profit or loss. In here, year 1, we have a taxable loss. Year 2, we have taxable profit. Year 3 also, year 4, 5 also we have a taxable profit. මෙතනට වෙනකන් clear මේක පොඩක් ලියා ගන්නකො ඉස්සලාම. චුට්ටක් ලියා ගන්න. I will give 1 minute, 2 minutes. You can write this, right? This is very much useful question. හරි ලියාගෙන ඉවරලා මට කියන්න මොකද නැත්නම් ටයිම් වේස්ට් වෙනවා බොරුවට අපිට 10යි 10 කාල වගේ වෙද්දි ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන් මම හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට මොකක්කම හරි දශමිකාරී නොලෙජ් එකක් යන්න ඇති කියලා ගියේ නැත්නම් sorry.com කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ තමයි හොඳ ක්විස් එක 120ක් so work hard මම හිතන්නේ හරි නේද නිම්රාද හරිනේ ලියාගත්තද හරිද hello
හරි සකේ මේ 9100 මේ අර මයිනස් නේ ලොස් එකක් නේ
ඔව්
එතකොට මේ ලොස් එකට අපි ටැක්ස් බලනවානේ
දැන් ලොස් එකට ටැක්ස් බලන්නේ නෑ ඒක හරි බට් මේ ගානේ මේ ගානේ assume මේ තියෙන්නේ candidate should consider tax savings දැන් අතරම අපි ලොස් එකක් ඉඳලා ටැක්ස් ගෙවන්නේ නෑ නිකන් ඒක අපිට සේවිං එකක් වගේ කියලා තමයි මෙතන කන්සිඩර් කරලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් ලයිව් අපි ටැක්ස් එකක් මේ taxable income එකක් තිබ්බොත් අපි ටැක්ස් එක අපිට ටැක්ස් liability එකක් තියෙනවානේ අතන ලොස් එකක් ඉඳලා අපිට නිකන් සේව් එකක් වගේ අපි ටැක්ස් ගෙවන එක escape වෙනවානේ අර ඒකයි net කරලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් මෙතන මේ year 1 එකේ 9128ක් අරන් ඒක නිකන් save එකක් වගේ තමයි consider කරලා තියෙන්නේ. අනිත් තැන liability එකක්. මොකද we want to pay. In here we not pay because අපි loss තියදී pay කරන්නේ නැහැ but in here අපි NP වල assume කරන එක it's as a savings. කවුරුත් කැමති නෑ මේ negative profits ලබන්න but in year 1 unfortunately it is negative. අනේ හින්දා candidate should consider tax saving for the same period since OPL has other taxable profit to offset. In year 2, we have taxable profit. Year 3, year 4, year 5 also we have taxable profit. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මේක නේ offset කරනවා කියලා හිතා ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා තමයි මේ වල කියන්නේ. මෙච්චර ඒවා එන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද මේ මම ඉස්සුවේ මේ paper එක. හරි නේද? එතකොට ඒක මෙන්න මෙතනින් දාලා තියෙනවා. මේ තියෙන්නේ taxable liability or tax saving. In year 1 we have cash inflow. It is tax saving. In year 2, we want to pay 1,192. Year 3, 13,428. 8,306. 2,286. හරිනේ මේ සෙට් එක තමයි එතන දාලා තියෙන්නේ right මම හිතනවා මේ ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවා කියලා තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන්නේ නැහැනේ කවුරුත් right ඊට පස්සේ after that net cash flows are given මේක පොඩ්ඩක් ලියා ගන්න මම විනාඩියක් දෙන්න අපි ඊට පස්සේ IRR කරා සමාර කරා කොහොමත් 10 කාලට වගේ වෙද්දී අපිට ගෙදර යන්න පුළුවන් ලීව් වෙන්න පුළුවන් right net cash flows දන්නවනේ cash inflows minus cash outflows we can get the net cash flows now there is a small question what is the discount rate they are directing note A is not given unfortunately but I will tell you what is note A there is no need to compute the nominal rate there is given but the examiner is really cunning he is given 3 rates he is expecting you are knowing the nominal rate to adjust as a discounting factor in this case. OPL real cost of capital is given. Real cost of capital does not reflect the inflation adjustments. It is not, we can't take 10% as the discount rate. Nominal after tax rate is 15.5 million. Sorry, 15.5%. It is the discount factor. It is the weighted average cost of capital which reflecting inflation. Inflation adjusted WACC. The cost of equity is not relevant to us. Sometimes if no, in strategic level it is testing. The capital structures are there in strategic level. අපේ chartered වල strategic level වල තමයි තියෙන capital structure. Corporate level no corporate finance. Strategic level we have SL2 subject in there. If I am not mistaken මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න මම එකත් පොඩක් පෙන්නලා යන්න. මොකද අපි සමහර දැන් campus ඉගෙන ගන්නවා chartered එකේ final level we have. It is hard than us in online accounting. මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න බනින්න එපා. SL2 we have mergers and acquisition which is based on our assignment as well. Strategic level you can learn one day, right? In here I think it's visible, right? In CA we have equity finance, debt finance, cost of capital, capital structure. You can see there SL2 corporate finance and risk management. Then you can learn, right? Bond valuation, interest rate. Further, I also don't know mergers and acquisitions. This is based on our assignment in this semester, right? It is 20,000 per unit, per cost unit. Hari, capital act na nikan QA, right? Now we can compute. We can take discounting factor as the nominal rate, which is reflecting the inflation. Inflation adjusted present value. Sorry, WACC is 15.5%. You can use it as a discounting factor, 15.5%. Then take the discounting factor. How to take the discounting factor? 1 divided by 1 plus R into the power in 1 equal, may එනවද කියලා බලන්න, 1 plus 0.55. Then you can enter 0.866, 0.749, 0.649 approximately. They are taking rounding up. 0.562, 0.486. It is coming. එනවා. හරිද නිම්රාද එනවද හරිද? These discounting factors in exams, discounting factor tables are given, but if they don't given, we can compute based on our using our scientific calculator. හරිද මම byte කරනවා. Right. Then this present value is blah blah black sheet. හරිනේ නේ? We can compute. අපි දෙවෙනි කැලලත් කරලා නතර කරමුනේ. කමක් නැහැ නේ IRR computation එකත්. අපි කවුද දන්නේ quiz එකට ඇහුවොත් what is the IRR කියලා. අපි ඒක දැනගන්නත් එපා. Basic, simple. And fast and hard rule. හරිද? මේක හරි නේද? NPV එනවනේ මේක පොඩක් copy paste කරගන්න. 1 minute වගේ ගන්න. පොඩ්ඩක් මහන්සි වෙන්න මොකද මේකනේ last quiz එක. දැන් first year හැම subject එකම තිබුණා. Second year, first semester, 4 subject. Audit තිබ්බා, taxes, CF, අනිත් එක මට මතක නෑ marketing. In this semester, fortunately, it's 2 subjects. Right? Already ACF is okay, but කෙලවුණා, but what to do? Right. අපි කරමු නේද? හරි. Present value එක එනවනේ නේ? හරි නේද? Since the NPV is positive, production of the new product existing facility could be recommended. Since this viable product, it generate positive NPV. හරිනේ නේ? හරිද හලෝ ළමයි? හරිද නිම්රාදා? ලියා ගන්න මොකක්ද කවුද මෙසේජ් කරවල දෙන්නේ? මට ඉවරයි ක්ලාස් එක. ඉවරයි දැන්. Harida, hello. Right. Next question. Last question. Evaluate the risk of the company in terms of IRR. IRR in the sense at which rate NPV gets 0. NPV 0 when a break-even rate we simply call as a internal rate of return. IRR. Here the computation of IRR. We are taking 2 discounting factor. One discounting factor is already we calculated based on the 17 point I don't know what is that. 17 point, no, 15.5. We are already compute the NPV, right? In here, in our this one also, we 15.5. We derive the final 11,154 positive NPV. In here, we want to, in order to compute the IRR, we want to take two discounting factor. Now we are considering 6.5. No, 6.5 නෙමෙයි අපි මෙතන අපි හිතමු මේගොල්ලෝ ගන්නේ 22%. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වැඩි එකක් ගන්න. As per this, you can take any discount factor which is greater than 15.5, right? So you can easily copy paste the net cash flows from this net cash flows. Net cash flows is there 60,000, 5,444. Likewise, you can copy paste. There is no any new calculations. You can only copy paste, right? Is it okay? හරිද? Net cash flows you can easily copy paste. මේ 12734 අවසානයේ මේකෙත් as it is, right? Easy. Now you want to take discounting factor which is greater than 15.5. As per this examiner is taking 22%. So now you want to compute discounting factor under the 22%. These things will be you will get these answers. බලන්න එනවාද කියලා 1 divided by පොඩක් විනාඩියක් කර අපි මේක තව විනාඩියකින් ඉවරයි. බයිලාවක් කියනවා නෙමෙයි මම. So 0.22. You can get 0.119. It is approximately 820. Second year 0.672, 0.551, 0.451, 0.370. After multiplying these, you will deriving the present value. After the present value minus the initial investment, NPV is there. Okay. How to compute the IRR? There is a formula. IRR in the sense equal to a percentage in මම කියන්න මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ A කියලා NPVA minus NPVA minus NPVB. In first year we learn this, right? P percentage minus A percentage. A percentage in the sense the lowest discounting factor. B percent mean the sense the highest discounting factor. As per our example, our lowest discounting factor is 15.5, right? NPV in the A sense, NPVA කියන්නේ 15.5 use කරලා we deriving NPV of positive NPV of how much? Is it? I don't know. 11,154 11,154, right? 11,154 again divided by 11,154 minus NPVB. It is minus figure. NPVB in the sense minus 23 multiplied by highest percentage is how much? 22% minus again 15.5%. After solving this, you will derive IRR rate as the 21.99 approximately. Check it. එනවාද කියලා බලන්න. විනාඩියක් කරන් 21.99. Oh, we can say yes 21.99. මෙතන මොකද ඍණයි ධන වෙනවා. So here how to solve this? 11,154 divided by 11,154 plus 23යි. මොකද minus multiplication වලදී plus වෙනවා. මොකද මේක maths class එකක් නෙමෙයි, right? Multiplied by 0.22 minus 0.155. You will get some answer into 0.155. You can get 0.2198 approximately as a percentage. එනවා නේද නිම්රාදා? Approximately 21.99 as our internal rate of return, which is the rate which NPV is 0 equal to 0. හරිද මම හරිද නිකන් බයිලාවක් වගේද මේක? Hello?
හරි ශකීරේ උත්තරේ එනවා.
හරි නේද? right. Last අපි මේක පොඩ read කළාම නතර කරමු. ඉතින් බයිනවා වගේ මට පේන්නේ යවන්නෙත් නැහැ කියලා මොකද බයිනවා දන්නේ. In the case of cost of capital increases for some reasons may be due to increase in the borrowings rate and increase in the required rate of return of shareholders. an increase of cost of capital due to change of the capital structure. We know the capital structure means the proportion between debt and equity. The discount rate 15.5% will no longer be valid. If the required rate goes beyond 21.99, the project will no longer be viable. Why? Since if our discounting factor is greater than IRR, in the sense our NP will definitely will be negative. So we know we accepting a project if the discounting factor is less than the what? IRR. මං හිතන්නේ මේක පුළුවන්. මොකද in ACF also we learn this. CF also we learn in first year no sorry, second year. හරි නේද? Right. Unforeseen and adverse circumstances should result in the decline revenue and increase cost of for both. In such a scenario, absorb such shocks. There is a safety margin. We have a safety margin of how much? Our IRR rate is 21.99, which is the rate with our NPV get 0, right? But we taking discounting factor as 15 point how much? මට මතකත් නෑ 15 point කීයක්ද? 15 point පොඩ ගන්න 15.5. There's a safety margin of what? 6.49. 6.49. හරිනේ? The difference between internal rate of return and our discounting factor WSSA nominal rate. Is it correct? Hello? Okay. That is the end of this our session. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.